All right, let's say you have unlimited money in your bank account. You have millions of dollars in your bank account staring at you uselessly. And you want to get a Formula One car, but you see, you can't actually buy one because they are not for sale and they're basically priceless to the Formula One teams. And you want something that is as close as can be to a Formula One car, something that will make you feel like a Formula One driver. Well, here are my top 10 picks for you because into this video are the top 10 cars that are the closest to being a Formula One car. Cars that will make you feel like a Formula One driver. I am Meno and this is my YouTube channel, and this channel will talk cars, not as related to cars. And if you're interested, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Watch this video to the end, and if you like it, give the video a thumbs up. With that said, thank you for tuning in and let's get the video started. And now, without further ado, coming in at number 10, we have the BAC Meno R. And I know what you're thinking. This is not near a Formula One car. Well, we are getting there, and this is a really good baseline to start from. So, what was the Meno R? Well, the Meno R is a single-seater open heaven road Lego track car. And quick start, it is powered by a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine that makes 343 horsepower and 330 newton-meters of torque. All that power is sent to the rear wheels via a 6-speed sequential gearbox that shifts like crazy. Take a listen. It features an adjustable push-rod activated twin wishbone suspension plus light carbon fiber body panels. And I know what some people may be thinking, that the horsepower numbers that I mentioned earlier are nothing compared to the numbers we're hearing lately. But that's the normal thinking of like a normal car guy, because when it comes to like motorsport car guys, we know that there is more to track cars than just the horsepower numbers, because this car is really impressive when it comes to performance. Let's come over to the acceleration performance. This car can do 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds with a maximum top speed of 117 miles an hour, which is typical for track cars. And it only weighs 555 kilograms, giving it a power-to-weight ratio of 618 brake horsepower per ton, which is smaller than the Porsche 911 GT3 RS and on par with that of the McLaren P1 and the McLaren Senna. And now, what makes this car unique and similar to a Formula One car? Well, first of all, it gives you that single-seater center-mounted open-top experience that you would normally get in a Formula One car. It also like gives you that better handling over like normal supercars. It's not going to be the best of the best when it comes to handling, but it's going to be much more better than your average supercar. It also features a race-spec steering wheel with all the like vehicle functions and the technical access to the vehicle controls, which you don't normally get in like the normal supercars as well. And also, this is something like you see in typical race cars. The engine and the gearbox are both stress members of the chassis, and in case you don't know what that means, it means that the suspension arms are all bolted to the gearbox, yes, to the casing of the gearbox, which means that when you're in the corners, the suspension arms are pulling and pushing on the casing of the gearbox, which is like, it's a race car thing. It don't save the normal like road going vehicles. And this car also is a good baseline for modification. So if you want to modify the bodywork to improve aerodynamics, or you want to improve like modify the engine to make more power, this is a really good baseline. And price for one of these $200,000 to $350,000 for the highest trunk, which is the Meno R, which I think is a good value for your money. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Now, coming in at number 9, we have the Ariel Atom 4R, which is really similar to the BAC Meno, but in so many ways a little bit better. So what is the Atom 4R? Well, the Atom 4R is a 2-seater open wheel, open heaven road Lego track car, just like the BAC Meno, and it's powered by a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine borrowed from the Honda Civic Type R, yes, and it makes 400 brake horsepower and 500 newton-meters of torque. All that power is sent to the rear wheels via a 6-speed sequential gearbox with an exoskeletal steel chassis. And when it comes to performance, this car can do 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds, actually in less than 2.7 seconds, 0 to 100 miles an hour in 6.5 seconds with a maximum top speed of 170 miles an hour. It only weighs 665 kilograms, giving it a power-to-weight ratio of 611 brake horsepower per ton, which is still better than the Porsche GT3 RS. And what makes this car unique similar to a Formula 1 car? Well, it features a front and a rear wing, which is something like you don't get in the BSC Meno. It's fixed though, but it still functions and makes it like adds to the look of a Formula car like to it. So it features anti-dive and anti-squat system, which is really like good for cornering. So when you're cornering, the car is not like diving and squatting too much, which is going to mess up the aerodynamics and the balance of the car. It features a push rod suspension with the new ABS system they developed for it, an adjustable launch control and adjustable traction control. And price for one of these, $85,000, which I think is even a better value for your money than the BSC Meno. Both cars are really similar in so many ways, but I think this isn't like in some ways better. And when it comes to performance, this is overall better. And when it comes to overall look, performance and driving dynamics, I think they're both similar, but this we have just a slight edge over it. All right, we've gotten to the point of the video where things are going to go from 0 to 100 real quick. Like, this is now the big boys realm. Like, we are going from $85,000 cars, $200,000 cars to well over $1 million cars. Yes, this is where things starts to get really serious, because coming in at number 8, we have a car that not a lot of people know about, but it's really impressive and really good. And I'm talking about the Praga Bohemia. Yes, the Praga Bohemia, really impressive, but not a lot of people know about that car. So what was the Praga Bohemia? The Bohemia is a 2-seater rear mid-engined track hypercar with some crazy bodywork. It is powered by a 3.8-liter twin-turbo V6 engine borrowed from a Nissan GTR, and it's tuned up to make 700 horsepower and 535 pound-feet of torque. All that power is sent to the rear with via a 6-speed sequential automated manual transmission. As for performance, it can do 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds, 0 to 100 miles an hour in 4.9 seconds, and it can do a quarter mile in 9.6 seconds, which is really impressive, and puts it on par with cars like the Bugatti Chiron. And it's limited in top speed at 186 miles an hour, and it weighs only 982 kilograms, giving it a power to weight ratio of 713 brake horsepower per ton, which is way more than the other two cars I mentioned earlier. And now, what makes this car special, unique, and similar to a Formula 1 car? Well, first of all, we have to like talk about the aero package. Like, this aero package is really crazy. Like, everything from the low and aggressive front end to the crazy but cool sideboard design. And the back, it features a really massive rear diffuser with a heavily curved fixed rear wing. And fun fact, the aero package on this car is signed off in the Formula 1 team's wind tunnel. Yes, which goes to show you how credible the aero package is when it's literally signed off in a Formula 1 team's wind tunnel. And as a result, this car can generate up to 900 kilograms of downforce at just 155 miles an hour, which is still really impressive. It also features a torsionally rigid carbon fiber monocoque, as well as the carbon fiber body panels that all contributed to how light the car came out. It also features an adjustable O-lens push rod suspension with carbon fiber disc brakes. And as for the production of this car starts in 2024, which is last year, and price for one of these $1.5 million, and only 89 units of it will be made. And now, coming in at number 7, we have a car that was popular at some point when it came out, and all of a sudden it died down, and not a lot of people know about it anymore. But I know at some point it's going to resurge again, and I'm talking about the Zenga 21C Blackbird Edition, which is the track version of the 21C. And this is a car that is popularly known as the 3D printed car, but there is more to this car than just being 3D printed. So in case you don't know, this car holds the record as the fastest production wood grain vehicle around the Goodwood Festival Speed Hill Climb, faster than cars like the McLaren and so many other hypercars that we saw go up the Goodwood Festival Speed Hill Climb. I know that not all of them are pushing, but a win is a win. And now, quick spec, it is powered by a 2.9-liter V8 engine assisted by 2 electric motors, and altogether the system makes 1,350 horsepower, 1,575 Nm of torque. The engine drives the rear wheels via a 7-speed semi-sequential gearbox, and the car weighs only 1,240 kilograms, giving it a power-to-weight ratio of 1,089 brake horsepower per ton, which is better than a Formula 2 car. Yes. And now this is where it gets crazy, because like this car has some big claims. There are claims that I don't know if it's actually real or if the car can actually do it, but this is what Zenga claims. They claim this car can do 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds, 0 to 300 kilometers an hour in 8.5 seconds with a limited top speed or 290 miles an hour, which is typical for track hypercars. But this guy is not built for like straight line acceleration, but it's still a beast when it comes to straight line acceleration. Now, what makes this car special, unique, and similar to Formula 1 car? Well, other than the fact that this car features a lot of 3D printed parts, this car still has some really cool and impressive features. Let's get into it. First of all, given the fact that this car has this inline seat configuration, which means that the passenger seat is directly behind the driver's seat, it gives you that center, like single mounted seat experience that you get in a Formula 1 car. Although you have like two seats, you have the seat at the back that you can carry a passenger along with you, but it gives you that center mounted single seat experience. Like you are sitting dead center in the vehicle, you have equal length to your left and right, and there is something about you sitting dead center in the vehicle that just works well in my brain. And secondly, this car gives you a high level of track performance. And in case you don't know, this car also holds the world record as the fastest production road-going vehicle at the Laguna Seca, beating the previous record holder, which is the Koenigsegg Jesko Attack, and also holds that same record at the Goodwood Festival Speed Hill Climb, and also at Kota, which is some really big statement. It also features some extreme aero package. It's not the most extreme on this list, it's not like the craziest, but it works well for this vehicle. So price for one of these, $2.8 million, and only 40 units of it will be made. Alright, we've gotten the point in the list where some of the cars on this list from this point on are actually built by Formula 1 teams. And the number 6 car is a really good example of that, because coming in at number 6, we have the Mercedes AMG 1. And the AMG 1 is the biggest technology transfer from Formula 1 to a road-going vehicle. Yes, other manufacturers like Ferrari and McLaren like bring technologies from their Formula 1 cars, they are road-going vehicles, but they are a lot more watered down and diluted, while this is the rawest, like if there is any word like that, it's the most rawest and like the purest technology transfer from Formula 1 to a road-going vehicle, and that's mainly because of the engine. You see, the car itself is based on their 2015 Formula 1 car, which is the W06, which won them the Constructors' Championship and also the Drivers' Championship with Lewis Hamilton. But the engine is not the only powertrain it borrows from the Formula 1 car, it also borrows the hybrid powertrain. And now as for the spec, this is powered by a 1.6 liter turbocharged V6 engine, which is the smallest engine on this list, and it's assisted by 2 electric motors. No, 4 electric motors, and the main highlight of the hybrid powertrain is the parts borrowed from the Formula 1 car, which is the MGU-H and the MGU-K, which we are going to explain. Now starting with the MGU-H, which stands for Motor Generator Heat, aka electric motor. Like these are all like complicated names for electric motor. So this electric motor is mounted in between the 2 chambers of the turbocharger, and this is a whole unit on its own, really big, and it's mounted in the middle of the engine, like in between the engine heads, and the 2 chambers of the turbocharger is on the opposite sides of the engine. And what this electric motor does is to spool up the turbocharger up to 100,000 RPM to like provide the engine with big boost and peak power like when needed. And yes, it eliminates any form of turbo lag. And on the other hand, we have the MGU-K, which stands for Motor Generator Unit Kinetic, and this is just the main electric motor mounted to the crankshaft to assist the engine and to fill that torque gap during shifting, and it also serves as a generator under braking and under excess boost for the MGU-H. And it also features 2 extra electric motors up at the front on the front axle driving the front wheels, and altogether the system makes 1063 horsepower. And the engine drives the rear wheels only via a 7-speed sequential automatic transmission that is also a stress member of the chassis. And now when it comes to performance, this car can do 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds, 0 to 200 kilometers an hour in 7 seconds with a maximum top speed, actually a limited top speed of 219 miles an hour, which is not all that impressive given the fact that we've seen cars do even crazier numbers. But these cars are not built for straight line acceleration, but for track performance. And when you hear people say that these cars are not for straight line acceleration, but for track performance, best believe, because this car is like a beast on the track. So in case you don't know, this car holds the record as the fastest production road-going vehicle around the Nürburgring Nordschleife, completing the ring in 6 minutes 29.090 seconds, which is faster than the number 2 car in the record list by 8 seconds, which is the Porsche 992 GT2 RS with a main tire package, and a whole 30 seconds faster than a Rimac Nevera, which is known as the fastest accelerating road-going vehicle today, and it's a whole 30 seconds behind. You know what that means? It means that this car, the MG1, will cross the line and we'll have to wait 30 seconds for the Rimac Nevera to come through, which is crazy. It also holds that same record at the Hockenheim Ring, which was later taken by the McLaren spelling. But if you know how extreme, stripped down, and crazy that vehicle is, that would give you the perspective of how impressive the AMG1 is. So do I need to go ahead and tell you why this car is unique and similar to a Formula 1 car when it's actually built by a Formula 1 team, tested and driven by Formula 1 drivers, and actually owned by Formula 1 drivers like Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas, George Russell, David Coulthard, and so many others. And I don't need to and I would love to say that if you made it to this point of the video, thank you for sticking around. And if you do enjoy the video, please go ahead and give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, let's get back to the video. Now, coming in at number 5, we have the Bugatti Boulette. You see, we don't know Bugatti to be a brand that makes track hypercars or track cars in general, but they went all out with this car. This is the track version of the Bugatti Chiron, and the numbers that this car does is really, really out of this world. This is powered by an 8-liter quad-turbo W16 engine from the Bugatti Chiron, and it's tuned up to make 1,570 horsepower and 1,600 Nm of torque. All our power is sent to all 4 wheels, which is not typical for track hypercars, but Bugatti went with all drive. It's sent to all 4 wheels via a 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. And now when it comes to performance, this car is a totally different beast. Cars like this are not built for straight line acceleration, but this is still a beast when it comes to straight line acceleration. So 0 to 60, it can do it in less than 2.2 seconds, 0 to 200 kilometers an hour in 4.3 seconds, which is Formula 1 level of acceleration, 0 to 300 kilometers an hour in 7.3 seconds, with a limited top speed of, get this, 236 miles an hour. Bear in mind it's limited because this car is designed to go over 310 miles an hour, which is nuts. This car is just unbelievable, unbelievable. And this car only weighs 1,450 kilograms, giving it a power to weight ratio of 1,088 horsepower per ton, which is just 209 brake horsepower per ton less than a Formula 1 car, but it's still really, really impressive, by the way. Although this car has not proven anything yet, but I'm sure at some point it will. But this car is simulated to lap the Circuit de la Sarthe, which is the Le Mans, by the way, in 3 minutes and 7.1 seconds. In 3 minutes and 7.1 seconds, which is a whole 7.6 seconds faster than the record holder, which is the Toyota TS050, which is a full-blown Le Mans hypercar. This car is just unbelievable. Totally unbelievable. And not only that, it's also simulated to lap the Nürburgring Nordschleife in 5 minutes 23.1 seconds. Yikes, which is just only 4 seconds slower than the fastest vehicle to ever go around the Nürburgring, which is the Porsche 919 Evo. And now, what makes this car unique, special, and similar to a Formula 1 car? Well, first of all, is the aero package. This car features some of the most unique and the most extreme aero package you ever see on any track hypercar, and that allows the car to generate up to 3,000 kilograms of downforce on the track, which in turn is going to lead to more grip, and in turn going to lead to more cornering speed, making it go faster around the track. And speaking of corners, this car pulls 2.5 Gs in the corners alone. Just like Formula 1 cars, it also uses a carbon fiber disc brakes, and it also uses a Formula 1 grid chassis. Not only that, it also features a built-in jack, and also the rear tires are 400 millimeters wide, and that's on par with Formula 1 rear tires. And if you know anything about big rear tires of Formula 1, they are big and they have more grip. But the biggest one of them, the biggest part of it all, is the operational aspect of this car, because you see, to operate this car, you're going to be needing a whole crew member around, a whole team around, a team of mechanics, engineers, data analysts, and so many others around you. Because you see, this car doesn't have any advanced cooling system, which means that once it starts, you go, and once you come into the pits, all kinds of cooling systems are attached to this car to cool the engine, the brakes, and so many other overheat hitting areas. So we don't like, this is not a car just hop in and drive around. You need a whole team around you. And good thing Bugatti organizes track days for the owners, where the owners get to bring out their cars to drive them on the track, to push their cars to the limit with all the assistance from the Bugatti factory, from the Bugatti team. And this is for those that say that
people buy these cars to park them like in the garage. Like these cars are useless. No,
they are not. I bet if you have the money, you are going to buy these cars, because like these cars are just like the best of the best when it comes to like automotives. And this is not a car you just hop in and just take for a ride. Like, no. To drive these cars, you're going to be driving them on the track, and it makes, anytime like you go to the track to drive them, it makes it feel like a special occasion. Or anytime you're going for a track day, it makes it feel really, really special, or dare I say, feel like a Grand Prix. So this is for those who say like people buy this car just to park them. No, these are special cars, and when you're driving them, it makes it feel really, really special. Price for one of these, $4.7 million, and only 40 units of it are going to be made.